Hi, everybody. John Melby, Managing Director of ASCM Twin Cities Chapter. ASCM stands for the Association for Supply Chain Management, and we are the Twin Cities chapter connected to the national global organization, ASCM. Today, I want to talk to you about the kinds of things that we offer as ASCM Twin Cities chapter and that's available from ASCM in general. The first thing is the certification offerings. And you may have heard of APICS, the APICS certifications, the APICS body of knowledge. There's four different certifications that we offer. You can read those on the screen. We offer these in both in-person instructor-led classes, online instructor-led classes, or the materials are available with the learning system. You can do self-study if you choose to do that. And we're offering now a self-study plus, which is kind of an opportunity to do self-study. And if you find that it's a little bit much or you have questions you'd like to ask, there's that opportunity. One of the advantages of the class is that you get to ask questions and hear other people's thoughts on it, as well as hear what their questions are that you may not have thought of. But we offer the wide range so that you can choose how you would best like to receive this class and this education. The class itself is one thing. There is a pretty significant exam at the end of it that proves that you've gained the knowledge and shows that you've achieved a certain level of understanding of the supply chain body of knowledge that you have chosen to go after the certification for. The second certification that we offer is from the Demand Driven Institute. And the demand driven methodology is kind of a fix or an adjustment to the traditional material requirements planning that allows us to handle this world that we find ourselves in, which is anything but stable. VUCA stands for VUCA is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And if that doesn't describe the world you live in, please let me know. I'd love to join you. The idea behind this, there are four different certifications. The demand driven planner is kind of the beginning point if you want the whole package. The demand driven leader is a little bit more of an overview, uh, gets a little bit into the details, but also kind of where the world is headed. The operations class is an add-on to the demand-driven planner class. And then the distribution, demand-driven distribution, is more focused on distribution than on manufacturing. One of the cool things about the demand-driven methodology and the way the company has set this up is that you will get lifetime access to the current recordings of the courses, not the course, not the class that you took, but let's say 3 years down the road, there's an evolution of the methodology or something new that gets added in. You will have access to that for your lifetime. So it becomes an additional tool that you have in the planning, inventory management area and gives just another way to manage the different types of problems that you have. And this is applicable to everyone. If you have too much of the wrong stuff, too little of the right stuff, and overall too much stuff, and your management is asking you to reduce it, this is a great place to start with this certification program as well. The next thing I want to talk about is certificate programs. And I differentiate very strongly between certification, which is a very intense and rigorous body of knowledge and process, versus a certificate, which has, let's call it smaller uh, areas of study. So focused on planning, focused on warehousing, the smaller segments that you might want to know about, and it's a completely self-study. Read the material, do some quizzes, and work your way through it. So you kind of get out of it what you put into it, in that regard. Most of this is set up as self-study, but we do have an opportunity if you had a company with multiple people who want to take the same certificate program, we can arrange kind of a study group, instructor-led slide process, discussion group that focuses on that, and maybe, deep dive more into the conversation around how this applies to your business and what kinds of questions you might have specific to your company. The next one I want to talk about is the foundations of supply chain management. And this is that's a series of different modules that you can get. I don't want to talk about all the modules because we recommend that you just go after the full suite. It's an annual subscription plan. The full suite price is about one and a half, equal to one and a half of the individual modules. So to get all six for that pricing makes the most sense to us. It is an annual subscription. And so the vision that I have for this particular area is you sign up groups of people for the foundations, and then based on what people want to learn about, we can pick from each of the segments, we can pick whatever we want to talk about and build a class around that. And once you've paid for the full suite, we could do multiple classes throughout the year that would end up utilizing that full suite and still give people access to the information for kind of that self-paced. We did a class on these three things, but I'm also interested in this. Great, you go read that, and if you can create a class out of it, let's do it. Next, I want to talk about what I call the edutainment offerings, right? Education combined with entertainment. It should be fun. It should be a participatory world that we live in. So if we can involve the student and create hands-on learning and activities that share the message at the same time we get the learning, that's all a really great way to bring groups together. It's almost a team building exercise to bring people together, do something as a group, have some conversations that you maybe wouldn't have normally. And so what we have today, the two things that we have today is the Penguin Lego Factory, which is what we're calling the basics of material requirements planning, shows how material requirements planning works, why it fails in certain situations, and how we can create a different lead in to the demand driven body of knowledge that then fixes those places where traditional planning fails. The distribution game is an online game, and that can is kind of like what we used to call the beer game, demonstrates the bullwhip effect, but this gives you a solution to that problem. Whereas in the traditional training, I always felt like we shared where the problem was, but we didn't give a solution to it. So we create these different learnings, we involve the students. It's an open forum, chance to ask questions and get really deep into whatever the problem is or the situation that you are facing. And we create these learning opportunities by challenging what we call our deep truths, the things that we absolutely know to be true that turns out are absolutely unequivocally false. Next, I want to talk about additional, I just call them additional opportunities. Networking events, some of these are free events that the chapter puts on. They could be things that a company says, hey, I want to sponsor some sort of a Top Golf event or one of the many gaming venues around the Twin Cities or in your own area. Multiple ways to kind of just create that fun networking event feel. We have a supply chain summit that we put on in the spring. That'll be coming up. Usually it's in May. This year we're talking about doing a half day kind of event, make it a little bit easier for people to get there. That will be at least a half day event. Maybe we'll stretch it a little bit longer. Uh, Mastermind is another fun learning activity where we try and take people out of their day-to-day normal process, and we create a environment where they can apply things like risk management thinking, resource management, scheduling, um, those kinds of things, but not in their traditional world. So put you into a something we've all encountered, but we never thought of it really as a supply chain thinking process. That's our mastermind series. We also have a thought leader certificate program. We do some project-based learning where we can come out and kind of help you or your company with, we're trying to accomplish this. Let's do a little bit of learning, and then we'll bring our outside perspective along with your inside perspective and kind of create that project and actually get some momentum going. It's instead of just here's the learning and now you're on your own. And then additional things that ASCM membership brings you every year, the ASCM Connect conference happens. That's a great event for learning. There's SCORE DS, the supply chain operations reference model, digital standard that has in-house potential, right? Some of these workshops, you could just take them as an individual, but some of them really require your company to bring, I don't know, 10 people together and put it together because at the end, you should have something that your company can do, not something an individual would implement. And then there's a sustainability workshop as we try to achieve some form of better circular economy and sustainability in our processes, in our manufacturing, and our distribution. And then the last thing I want to talk about is some sponsorship opportunities. We have event sponsorships. You can create your own event to kind of bring us all together, or we can help with that. But some sort of an event that pulls people together. It might be you are looking for um, you are looking for people to hire, and the supply chain community is ASCM Twin Cities. Let's bring the supply chain community to learn about your company, and maybe you meet some people that you want to hire. Scholarship funds. The What we do with the scholarship fund is we help fund students, college students that go to national conference. So we try and help to take some students and get them involved in the supply chain. We're open to having companies contribute to that fund to help us do that. You can advertise in the chapter newsletter, comes out monthly, and it can put you on the website as well. And then tour opportunities if you want to bring the supply chain world into your business and share things that you're doing. That would be a really cool thing, and we have a way to make that happen as well. How do you get started? Contact the chapter office. There's the phone number or the info at email address. You can reach out to me as well. I didn't put my contact info here, but John Melby, find me on LinkedIn, or you can get through to me through that info address. And I'd like to thank you very much for following me along on this journey, and look for my other video about the Access Pass and the Workforce Investment Program that we have as well. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.